Hey guys, this is Amanda. Thanks for joining me today. Today's intuitive message is going to be focused on, or rather inspired by, the new moon in Libra that is coming up here in a few days. I believe it's October 21st. Excuse me, October 21st. So, Libra, the energy of Libra, go to your favorite astrologer if you want the deets on that. I view Libra season as a time to look at our exchange of energies. So whether it be with a romantic partner, whether it be in like a close business relationship, whether it be with close friendships, or even if you don't have a main friendship that is the focus, the exchange of energy on yourself, making sure you are caring for yourself, rebalancing things if there's a situation, a person, anything that you are giving too much energy to or that you are taking too much energy from, this is the time to rebalance the scales. But Libra favors peace, harmony, and balance above all else, which is why main partnerships is like center focus. So go ahead and go look at your favorite astrologer to look into the details of that. Today is going to be an intuitive message specifically for the new moon. New moon is new beginnings. I'm getting the word flourishing actually already. So some of you, this could be a flourishing time for your relationships, your close one-on-ones. Some of you, it's like a little bit of business. There are business transactions that could be going your way. But before I start channeling, because it's already kind of opening and coming in, I did a little bit of recentering myself before I hit record. So, as always, I would like you to recenter. So take a deep breath and drop into your heart space. Let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. And I'm going to call on Archangel Michael to protect my space, to shine a light of protection around me, and also any archangels, spirit team members, all beings of the highest white light that could help us channel collective, healing collective messages for anyone who comes across this video. And let there be something for everyone. That is the intention that I'm setting, is that everybody who comes to this, there is like that this message would resonate, even if it's only some nuggets of this message resonate for someone, that they could leave with their energy feeling a little brighter. So thank you for sitting in the space with me. I felt called to use a lot of different decks today. So I have quite a few of them at my table here. We're just going to see what the overall energy is and what gets channeled through. Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk about the Astro Dice while I'm pulling cards. So we can get a little bit of a focus. There is an overarching message here about career. I'm also hearing family, like even though like the 10th house is coming up, the 10th house is usually career, success, aspirations, but at the same time, Spirit's kind of flooding me with 10 of Pentacles energy of like family. So fourth house is usually family, but Spirit's like talk about family. So this is with a message for family and for like if you're pursuing your career or pursuing your dreams and aspirations. There is a level of confidence and stability that you must bring to the table with it, or that you are feeling called. You would already feel inspired to perform this action, right? Because you have Saturn and Leo as well. So Saturn being the planet, this is the what. So Saturn is the disciplinarian of the rest of the planets. They are about consistent effort. Like if you could put it in zodiac form, they would be Capricorn, I would think, because of like that steady. It's almost like reformations, maybe like different things might need to be changed. So like reformation is coming to mind, which actually makes sense because one of the moon cards that you do have is adjustments are required. The third quarter moon, you're realizing that maybe something that you've tried in the past didn't quite work, and now you are being called to try something in a new or a different way, or you're called to take like a different perspective or approach. There's something in the energy that is changing. You're not doing what you've always done. You are changing. Something in the energy is changing. I can't be specific as to what, because this is in two different realms in terms of career, in terms of and also in terms of like family, or maybe how you've been running the house, or like I'm getting like a flood of images of like somebody's home or how they're running the home. Like I'm getting like some images of outside, like in a pool, or like the inside. Like some of you might have to pack up your pool for the season, or there's some type of thing that you have to do. And like, but I'm hearing like it's a warmer climate, so there's some type of like maybe like maintenance with the pool, or like there's maybe something different that you're needing to do. And for some of you, it's a set routine that you're changing, like one that you consistently have throughout the year. And for some of you, it involves a routine that you might not have been able to refine because it's only a seasonal shift, if that makes sense. So it might not be something that is completely and totally practiced on your end. Like there's only so many times in your life that you've been able to practice, like for example, packing up a pool, or like cleaning it out, getting it ready for the next season. Like it's not really something you have a routine set for, because, well, you might have only done it a few times in your life, I mean, who knows, you might have consistently done the same thing every year, but it's calling for something in your life is calling for a new approach. And you'll know what this is when you hear this message. It's something that this is an inspiration that had already struck you before viewing this message, or if there's something that pops into your mind while you're listening, that would be channeled on your end. Excuse me, that would be channeled on your end. So trust what's coming up for you right now. But Leo is also moving forward with confidence, and it's funny because Leo is also like being bold and assertive, and you also have a be bold and make the first move card with the cardinal moon. So this is about taking initiative. This is something you have to take initiative and action for. So that being said, let's see what other cards you have. But this could be a way to like rebalance the scales and get your life situated in a way that feels comfortable. It's all about ease. Like I feel like it's all about ease, comfortable. It's about the harmony and peace of it. Something that would be more peaceful. Something to either add, or maybe like you're taking away some extra steps that you don't need. You're doing something in a better way. Okay, I'm going to pull the books for these cards because I'm using decks that I don't, for these two specifically, I'm using these decks that I don't typically use often. I've had this one for a very long time though, and I love it. This is Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle. And I can also link these cards down below for you. And then we also have, where is it? Oh, here it is. This one is Wild Woman Rising by Angie Solins. And actually, it's so funny. I love this author. I'm drawn to this author and the illustrator quite frequently. The illustrator is Jenna Della Grottaglia. I'm so sorry. Jenna Della Grottaglia. I hope I'm saying that right. But beautiful art, and I'm always drawn to their decks before I even know who they're written by. Sometimes when I go into metaphysical shop, I'm like, that's the one. So I felt called to use this. I feel like somebody's stepping up or stepping into a new realm or a new sphere. So the card that you have from Work Your Light is Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity. Didn't I just say that you guys might be channeling something during this message? So I'm gonna pull the book on this one. Let me find it first before I hold it up for you. I just thought it was funny. Some of you might be like psychic intuitives, and if that's the case, that like we do channel things. Like things pop, even if you don't consider yourself a psychic or a channeler, things do pop up in your mind. I do feel like this, whoever I'm speaking to, like this energy does feel like you channel things even without realizing it. Like some ideas that you get or things that you're inspired by, they're inspired like from spirit. Spirit works through you. So you channel things and through like your action creation. I'm getting like gardening or like some type of like houseplants. There's some type of greenery or nature thing that you do that is channeled from spirit. A lot of the ideas that you get are inspired through them. So Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity. The Pleiadians are a group of star beings dedicated to rising the vibration of the planet and sharing new consciousness through creations and technology. They have been incarnating on Earth since near the beginning of humanity. You are a soul who has a double mission: to grow at soul level and to raise the vibration of the planet. If you have been called to write, speak, or channel, this is your sign to keep doing it. Your work is divinely guided. Of all the souls, Pleiadians are the chattiest, and so perhaps you have already started channeling some of this work into the third dimension. Thank you for doing your part in the great plan. Your presence and unique light is needed. So there's also like a heart message card, but I feel like some of you may already know this. You might already identify as Pleiadians, and even if you don't identify as such, these are gifts that you have. These are gifts that you're feeling called to bring forward. And then the Wild Woman Rising card that you have is Know Yourself. I'll hold that one up for you now. Primates are known as skillful communicators and community builders. Humans often forget that turning their communication inward is a primal necessity. To know thyself, as Socrates said, it is... To know thyself, as Socrates said, is to put communion in our communities. When you inquire deeply, when you know intimately who you really are, so that you can be equally authentic before the mirror of self and the mirror of society, Wild Woman rises. So, some of you could be channeling or journaling, like there are like messages within yourself that need to come out, or like your higher self is channeling through you. There is work with guides. I'm getting some of you do meditations and connect with your guides that way, or you connect with your higher self. There's something about connecting with spirit through meditation. Some of you meditate, journaling. I'm getting some dreams. It's not as strong like recording your dreams, but the tool specifically that they are calling me to tell you is meditation. And then also like there's some type of writing. So like meditating with like a journal, or like a writing pad, or even if like I use my Chromebook. I use because I type my messages a lot faster when I'm like on those on a computer. You just got to do what works for you. But there are like other hidden messages that are coming to you. This is connecting to yourself, and this can help inspire some of that confidence that's necessary to make some of these changes and some of these moves, because I feel like there are things that you can do in your life that would be easier, but maybe you've held back in the past from making these changes because you haven't been as confident in your ability. Ooh, I'm hearing like your ability to write too. Some of you might have been holding back on like writing, or like maybe some other craft, because you felt that you really didn't have the confidence to. But it's almost like something's changing. There's like there are a lot of shifts in the astrology, and there's just some like big transits happening. Like I remember looking at the chart, and then there was just like a whole list. There was like a whole list of all of like the conjunctions and trines and everything like that. And I was like, huh, there's a lot of shifts. There's a lot going on. So things are shifting signs all the time too. Like it seems like things are falling into different signs, and plus eclipse season just happened, so there are a lot of shifts and changes. I think the last few messages that I posted on this channel were about big shifts and changes. So for some of you, this is a recalibration period. This is now that the dust has kind of settled, you are thinking like, oh, like this next thing might work for me, or this next thing might feel a little better, and then you're stepping into that. Let's see if we can get, what do I feel called to do? I actually feel called to pull some tarot. Where's my tarot? It's right in front of me. Bringing out the dragon deck for this, because I love I'm like real synced up with my dragon deck. High Priestess is on the bottom. I think that's cute because that's using your intuition. Yeah, but we're still in the realm of like talking about, career, family, maybe running things in the house, because again, Virgo season is the exchange of energy that that happen in situations around us. This is I'm hearing like, what are you giving yourself this cycle or this season? What are you giving yourself? So, okay, I was going to do a Celtic cross, and I will keep going. I keep saying things, and then cards keep popping out, but the Justice card is all about rebalancing, harmony. The Justice card is about balancing the scales. So if you're giving too much, I don't know, I feel like I'm a broken record, but I'll say this last piece, and then I'll move on, because we talked about this already. I just think it's funny that it's popping up in the appropriate position that it would be. But look at the energy that you're giving to other people. Look at the energy that you're giving to yourself. And actually, I'm feeling called to talk about, some of you might have to sit, like, I'm not even going to say sit on some decisions, but there might be some bigger things that you have been contemplating that maybe have been slowing you down, because there are big cycles in your life that can be contemplated of like, big dreams or big desires or big things. And Spirit's actually asking you to tend to the small things. There is the wisdom with the owl to understand that what's coming to you will not pass you by. And there's also this mouse spirit on the other side of the scale, which is tending to the small things. And it's almost like you're feeling that shift, that change in perspective, to tend to the small things first. I almost feel like in the past there might have been for some of you a focus on the bigger things, so much of a focus that you were putting all of your energy towards these overarching themes, like things like, or long-term plans, basically, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting of, like, if you have a dream of, for example, like, writing, since we were like just talking about writing or crafts. If you had a big dream to make that into something, that is a long-term thing. But if that's all you are consumed by and focused on, you miss out on doing the small things. You miss living in the present moment. So that's where the balance can be a little bit off. So this might be where you're feeling called to recalibrate, is, turning into yourself, reorienting yourself, so that way you can make the first move, so that you can adjust to be more in the present moment, but take maybe smaller steps towards your long-term goal, instead of hyper focusing on it, having that be the only thing that you are focused on. It's more impactful actions in the present moment. That feels kind of like what this is. Let's see if we can get, what is the challenge here? Ooh. Some of you might have been like going through a breakup or going through some sort of grief. The challenge, pick this up. Pick it up. The Three of Swords is coming up in the challenge. This is like pain and suffering in all of its forms. I feel like it could be a breakup, or some of you may have moved on from something. This also sort of feels like grief, like general grief and suffering over something. Like, it could be the loss, or it could even be, for some of you, I feel like it's not just a loss. It could be just, maybe you're just coming out of a funk and there's grief over that, or there's, I don't know, I'm feeling grief. You'll know what this grief is because you've already experienced it, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Again, take what resonates, but I'm feeling like this, you've maybe been hiding in a hole somewhere because of this grief. Whatever that grief is, I don't know if it has a rhyme or a reason. Sometimes we experience grief and it's either a collective grief, or it's a grief that doesn't, maybe it's inspired by something else in our life and it's something that needs to come up and be processed. But there's something there, like, I'm feeling it. So some of you, the challenge to bringing harmony and peace is because you've been stuck in this grief, or you've been kind of sitting around, like, maybe you've been moping a little bit, or maybe you've been like really just taking the time to process and to feel it. I'm hearing like you've been trying to heal. Sometimes we have to get into the thick of it in order to pull up what we need to. Sometimes we have to feel it in order to process it and heal it, right? So it's not wasted. I say moping around, but there's always something that, is useful in that. What's coming up from within is the Queen of Pentacles. This is nurturing. This is self-care, taking care of yourself. The Queen of Pentacles in this deck specifically is taking care of what needs to be taken care of. This is the mouse spirit on kind of like I want to say the wheel. I don't know why the Wheel of Fortune is like popping up in my mind. It's almost like it's the mouse on the wheel. I don't know what Spirit's trying to say in that regard, but it feels like a very Wheel of Fortune thing, like tending to the small things sort of feeds the fortune in the wheel. That's kind of like the vibe that they're giving me. You're not just some hamster or mouse that's like running around on a wheel, because then nothing gets done, but feed it productive small things to help solidify your foundation. But that's what the nurturing card is. That's the message for the nurturing card right now. In the past, you have the Page of Wands. This is an inspiration. This is excitement. This could also be like in the past, like shortly before this, you might have been following your excitement. You've rediscovered, maybe rekindled some passions that you've had, and thought, oh, maybe I can take this somewhere, or maybe I can do something with this. But it's almost like an excitement, or maybe you're like revved up. You have like this vitality that was sort of missing before, and you're like, okay, now I can do this, right? But in your focus, your mental energy seems to be on the Five of Wands. And this could be just maybe like a conflict of interests. I'm getting that for some of you, when you bring up that excitement, that vitality, it might clash with some other things in your outside world. That is okay. This is kind of like what recalibrating is. It's not going to be completely and totally comfortable. There's gonna be some dissonance when you bring up something from within and try to align it with the life that you were living before. It's not gonna 100% fit, and it might be huge changes in your life that you're about to make. It might be small changes. I feel like for a lot of you it's the small changes, because that mouse spirit is coming up a lot of this is where we need to focus. But the owl being on the other side of the balance is having the wisdom to understand that that mouse is necessary. You need to hold space to tend to the small things with that mouse spirit, because if you don't, it really wrecks your harmony and your balance. So working through the dissonance, just allowing your vitality, allowing that inspiration to be present in your external life, and then see how the rest of the world calibrates around you. You have to give it time. Don't immediately retreat it. Give it time to see how the rest of the world, because the rest of the world, the rest of the energy around you will react. And your job is to hold true to yourself and hold fast. That's the whole point of the meditation, knowing thyself. If you're standing in your own presence and you're feeling your spirit and your vitality, you'll know where to go. You'll know at least where to stand in this moment. And that's going to be important so that the rest of the world can basically align with you. And you obviously don't want to wait for that long term, but this message specifically feels like you're going to bring something up and then the rest of the world might kind of like, whoa, like be a little jarred from it. Because that's not the energy that you brought shortly before. It was, like, I feel like, again, it was that Three of Swords that you were fighting with before. And then now that you're getting this vitality coming up a little bit, now you just have to watch the rest of the world rebalance and see how it goes. In the near future, you have the Lovers. For some of you, this is like a focus on like another connection. This could be a focus on a romantic connection. That's usually what the Lovers is. It could also, the Lovers card is also a reflection of the self. So this could be spending more intimate time with yourself and understanding, like, and I'm not even getting hermit energy either, but this could be just taking care of your own needs. Because with the Lovers card, the rest of the world is a reflection of what's going on from within. Or like, at least in terms of perspectives, at least in terms of your perspective. So if you are allowing certain energies to be in your life, to some extent it's because we're allowing it, right? So we have to look at, well, how do I feel about myself? And, is this something I'm hearing like quit? So some of you might actually be feeling called to make a big move and quit something, or to, like, some of you are actually quitting a habit of some sort. But the Lovers here is like, that is, some of you could, I'm actually getting, some of you could be spending like romantic time with somebody, or like with somebody significant, somebody close to you, like maybe like a close friend, because this is Libra season. That is the time for it. Some of you could be spending time with that someone special, or somebody like that best friend or something, to like, and it's almost kind of like orienting you to your true north. It helps you orient yourself to true north. It's a combination of the journaling, the meditating, knowing yourself, bringing some of that excitement up to the surface, watching the rest of the world react to you, but also like having those close connections to ground you. So that'll be important for you too. For the rest of this, the Knight of Cups being you. This is your energy. This is wish fulfillment. This is putting your wish in a cup and then waiting for the universe to deliver. Some of you could be actively making wishes. Some of your wishes could be coming true. In this deck, I view the Nine of Cups as sort of like an assessment of like saying like, and it's almost like I feel like there were intentions set maybe a few weeks ago, a few months ago. I feel like it wasn't too long ago. Maybe there were intentions set about 2 weeks ago during the full moon, and you're thinking like how do I, like, did this come to fruition, or what progress did I make? And then crafting new wishes and seeing how much your cup has filled up in other areas, like because you have 9 whole cups here. So I feel like we're very busy people. I'm talking to very busy people. It seems like the energy, I feel like a lot of the energy is focused on the home and the self, but there's also like a bunch of other scattered energies that will need I'm hearing like they will have their turn. There's not a need to focus on them right now. It's all about like the home, the self, or the career, whatever it is you're mainly focusing on now, to bring a balance back to. But you're almost kind of seeing where your manifestations happened. In your environment, you have the Two of Pentacles, which is another balancing card. The Two of Pentacles is throwing a bunch of stuff up in the air and then trying to juggle everything. So the Two of Pentacles does indicate to me busy, busy energy. And that's funny because hopes and fears, you also have, I can't pick these up with my nose. The Eight of Wands. Oh, sorry, dropped the dice. You have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is busybody energy, and this is in your hopes and your fears. So it's almost like wanting to be busy, but not wanting to crash and burn under the speed of which everything is flying into the air. With the Eight of Wands, I always like to say this energy is very much like throw a bunch of shit up into the air and then see what all you can catch. Especially when the Two of Pentacles is right below it in the environment. This is having a lot going on at the same time and trying to find some balance. I'm hearing like I'm trying to keep sane. That's the phrase that I'm hearing. I'm trying to keep sane. But the outcome here, the Eight of Cups, this is not what a busybody wants to hear, I think, because we want to get it all done. We want to meet all of our goals. There is something that you have to let go of. Do you have to let go of it forever with this Eight of Cups? Not necessarily, but some things might be calling for at least an emotional detachment to keep it in your life, but not tend to it right now. You need to detach some part of your energy from it. For some of you, you need to leave other things behind, but for some of you, this is actually a focus issue. It's either like needing to focus on other things, or when you're reprioritizing, recalibrating, rebalancing, there is a need to take your attention away from things that you've been focusing on before. Like if you've been like, I don't know, playing games too much, or you've been hanging out with your friends too much and you're like, wow, like self-care has really slipped, or like this business thing that I'm working on, like I've been falling behind in my business, or it's like, oh, like I'm going to school, I'm falling behind in schoolwork. Like there's something here that is calling attention that you're like, I need to disconnect from other things that I've invested a lot of emotional energy into to go back to this, right? So I'm gonna pull some extra messages from Secret Garden. Another cute little thing. I actually lost this deck for a little bit and then I found it again. It was just, it was there in plain sight. I just looked over it because there was something sitting on top of it. So I'm very excited to have it back and to work with it a little bit more. We're going to pull some messages from here and then roll some dice. And then I'll send you on your way. Ass. Love it. Love it. You have play. Among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. Part of rebalancing is taking care of work and also taking care of play. That's what Virgo season is all about. Our exchange of energy and nurturing our own energy so that we can participate in the exchange of giving and receiving. So make sure that you're giving yourself this little bit of love for this new moon in Virgo coming up. A big part of that love is making sure you're scheduling time for play. Like, make sure that you're creating a schedule or a system right now. When you're recalibrating, make sure that you are scheduling time for work, rest, and play. Rest and play are two completely different things. Rest is like, I would say that's like meditating, zoning out. Schedule time to do nothing. Schedule time to do nothing, to give your mind some time to unravel, to be at ease, to not have to be on all of the time, because play is the fun, it's the rush, it's the weed, like, it's the joy, right? In joy comes dream. Have a cup of tea in the garden and find yourself in a good book. For some of you, this is quite literally the play activity that you need, is to grab a good book and cuddle up and read. I will be doing that with my dog at some point, or with my ferrets, like probably with both, because I'm in a big reading mood right now. But for some of you, it doesn't have to be books, it could be something else. Letting your mind wander into a faraway land. It can help inspire other ideas for what you want in your life. Dreaming, playing, resting, it is all equally as productive as working. So anyway, moving on from that, we have generosity, sow seeds of kindness. And I do think that because generosity is in the heart of these cards, it's kind of right squashed between play and dream. This is sort of like what it's meant to help, is your generosity towards yourself and others. It helps spreads that ripple effect of positivity and good energy throughout the world. And basically everything you touch, I hear, is kindness. Everything that you touch, every smile, every part of eye contact, everything, like all of the interactions that you have throughout your day causes some type of ripple effect. So having, like between playing and dreaming, it is meant to not only make you feel good because you deserve it, but also to nourish the relationships that you have with others, right? So let's roll some dice and see what else you have. I'm pulling from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. It's a little worn because I've used it so many times. I use this in all of my readings. You have 6, 9, 3. I always read these messages twice. Your capacity to love and be loved is based on your capacity to know you are deserving of love. You are deserving. Love is yours. Love is your inheritance. One more time, your capacity to love and be loved is based on your capacity to know you are deserving of love. You are deserving. Love is yours. Love is your inheritance. I love that because I feel like that's just a cherry on top of everything that we've been saying about our exchange of energy. So to love and to be loved, that exchange of energy, healing yourself, helping yourself, again, connect with who you are as a person, connect with what you want, changing your perspective a little bit on how to do things so that way it can further sustain you and get you feeling better. It helps nourish other relationships around you. Just know that you are worthy of love so that you can start receiving some of this love. If you know that you are deserving of love, it is easier to give yourself love and to fill up your own cup. And once your cup is overflowing, then you can give to others. You can have those wonderful, I guess I would say like your relationships will get healthier. That's kind of what's coming up, is that like relationships in your life will be healthier if you tend to these smaller things. That being said, that is all I have for you. I hope this new moon in Virgo treats you very, very well. Thank you for joining me here. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.